called the three of you? I guess she got your names from the Navy.
Yeah,
And
she
did
does.
you all come over here for
We
a
came
meal?
here really just to kind of get to know each other,
Mhm.
you know, because you'd never
We'd
met
sit on
each
the
other.
floor
So
in the living room,
Yeah.
in a circle, and
Is
she
that
I think we
accurate?
would talk about how we found out certain things, you know, like my husband's picture was in the paper a few days after he was shot down, so I knew that.
His boss, that already knew Bill was a prisoner, called me to say, Shirley, do you get the morning paper? And at that time I didn't, I got the afternoon one. He said, well, sit down, Bill's alive. So that's how I found out, because his name was in the paper on the front page.
I had a knock on the door at 6:30 in the morning, and there were, two men in naval uniforms and a woman, and of course I knew immediately. He was considered missing, but by the conversation, it seemed like he was presumed killed. And then I got a call from a hysterical friend who was watching the Today Show and heard that he had been captured on the Today Show. And so that's how I found out.
Talking about personal things and what are we gonna do now, daily, what about the kids?
Yeah, coming to Sybil's, it was always a good feeling when you left. That
She was so
just,
positive.
yes, always
She was so
positive.
positive.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a strong lady.
Really, in the beginning, we would go to the Hotel Del Cardona, to the pool, and we'd sit there and talk, and the boys, whoever was around, would go swimming. And one day, we hadn't been there very long, and Stanford yelled out, "Mom, Taylor has the ball and he won't give it to me." And she said, "Life's not fair, and the sooner you figure it out, the better off you'll be." And everybody at the thing like,
Having this group was like the stabilizing factor
It was.
of going through the war.
Yeah.
I don't know what we would have done without each
Without
other.
each other. When you're a military wife, there's certain protocols,
Right.
but they did encourage us not to talk to the press. I
yeah.
don't say anything.
Just don't say anything you don't want to read in the newspaper tomorrow, the headlines. And that was the way I pretty much operated.
Four years later, so 68, so 72, I'd go out and do speeches. And at the end of the speech at the Lions Club, an optimist, the men would come up and say, "I didn't know that we had prisoners of war." Sure, our guys, the enemy, tries to convince the world that we're the bad people,
Right.
and that's why they've captured, they've got our people.
Bad
So if we make it public that they've got our people and they're tortured, then it turns the whole thing around. That's when it became aware and then started the letters coming. When the world started seeing, we're not the bad guys, they're the bad guys.
Right.
They're torturing our men, they're not letting letters come through or packages, or not abiding by the Geneva Convention or anything, even though it wasn't a declared war. And I think the awareness to the world, the public, made things better for the men and for the families. So absolutely, I think the public always needs to know